There was a story with this was in Tavshan Chav Zayin 41 years ago. Somebody came to the Rebbe, a group of students. This was other time, and they asked the Rebbe, "B'negeya to a beard, what is it so important to grow a beard?" So the Rebbe gave them a few things. The Rebbe gave them a nigla, al pi halacha. There's a commentary, poskim, and then there is also in Chassidus al pi Kabbalah. Person wears a beard. It is an image and reflection and drawing down from the 13 attributes of mercy. And the Rebbe said then in Yechidus, if you could manage without it, the Rebbe says, you're on your own. And then, actually, there was another Maisa. There was a Yechidus. I might have mentioned it once. There was a Yechidus this Yechidus was happening with a student from a yeshiva world, yeshiva world, in 1966, and he came to the Rebbe, and the yeshiva did not encourage him to wear a beard. And in other yeshivas they don't do it today either. And on the contrary, they tell a student, which I heard already, in one yeshiva, they tell a student, if you're going to wear a beard, you're going to look like a Lubavitcher. It's the biggest compliment there could be for us. But this is the way they try to turn him down. So Mela, this person this Bacher came to the Rebbe Yechidus. He was in Teves, end of Teves time. The Rebbe started to speak with him about a beard. And the Rebbe started to tell him the halachic part of it. He tells over later, he says, it didn't really touch me too much. Halacha her, halacha hin, what halacha says. Then he says, came the second part. The Rebbe started to explain it al pi Kabbalah. According to Kabbalah, the 13 attributes of this. And weiter, he didn't. He wasn't excited. Then the Rebbe tells him, we find ourselves now in the Parshias of leaving Egypt. Shmois va'era boy b'shalach. The Rebbe says one of the inyonim was b'negeya to leaving Egypt. The merits was leishinu levusham, l'sheina. They didn't change their garments. They didn't change their language. 4 inyonim. Shmeisam, their names. So the Rebbe says, today the Nisoyin is a lot easier. This was in the early 60s. The Rebbe says I think it was it the Beatles or the hippies? Who was it then? The Rebbe says the group that they don't change their names. The name is Goldberg. The Rebbe mentioned the names of the ones running the show. Dafka Yiddish names. The Rebbe says it comes to their language, they have their own lexicon. The Rebbe says, and they don't get overwhelmed by anybody. The Rebbe says it comes to their clothing, they have their own way of dressing. The Rebbe says, and they're not excited about anything. The Rebbe says, you can learn from them what's going on. After 45 minutes of a Yechidus, he said to the Rebbe, he said to himself, and he walked out, he says, the Rebbe spent on me 45 minutes, I am not removing the beard. And today he's a mashgiach, he's not Lubavitch, he's a mashgiach in Detroit, in Kashrus, I think, OU or whatever. It's a mashbacha with kids, full beard. And he was interviewed for the early years, the number one. But this was a gewaldige thing that the Rebbe used. Something was going on then in the world. All right, now we go.
Talking about midos.
Yeah.
It says in the source they're higher than sechel. Does that mean, like when it says that a woman has intuition? I know a woman has bina and a man is from chokhmah. Does that mean a woman sometimes knows higher stuff, but she senses?
It's intuition. She will sense in Yanim more. She will. It's more than of seichel and intuition. It's not so much the midas. It says she has a bina yesera, an extra intuition. A woman has an extra intuition that sometimes a man will not sense or feel.
So, but they say that women are more emotional than men. Is that something in Chassidus?
You mean to say if it's connected with this? Actually, intuition is a feeling, in a sense. Right. A gut feeling, a person has a feeling in the heart, which actually, the pnimius alev, the inside part of the heart, is deeper than the inside part of the mind. That's why the intuition of a person, the Rebbe says at Namayim, the intuition of a person could sometimes guide the person against something that he doesn't intellectually see it yet. So if it has to do with emotions of, I never saw the connection.
Female thing?
You mean Meichen and Midas?
That women would have more feeling?
Intuition.
Intuition than men? Or it's not,
that's
not
what it
a true
says.
statement?
100%. No, Bina Yesera Nitno, the Gemara says it. This is a Gemara. This is
That's the Chachma.
the union of Bina, right? Man is Chachma.
Attached to the idea that the midos are higher. That's why they have.
That I never saw the connection.
Chachma is the thing that comes with the idea, and Bina is actually taking the idea and developing it.
Yeah, developing it, analyzing it, right. But on the other hand, the shadish of Bina, in a sense they say is even higher. It comes from Atik. Gilu Yatik Bebina. The revelation of the inner part of Keser is in Bina. Because where does a person have pleasure? When he understands it. When does he understand it? When it's in Bina. He understands it when he analyzes something in all the different directions.
So why does it say Nashim Kala Rosh?
Let's discuss it
That's
another time.
That's why you need a Chachma.
But the Bina Yisrael, you see clearly, to raise children, you have to be a mamash psychologist.
Because it's yashbus. You need this yashbus. You have seichel, you have intuition. But the final decision, Daiton Kalas. Daiton Kalas means das. The Inyan of yashbus, settling, final decision, coming down in a way that it also develops into emotions. This is where you need another party to
Don't
help.
forget, you still need the Chachma.
Right? The Chachma is the Nekuda. The Bina is analyzing it. And in addition to that, Bina has the intuition. What did you start? This was it? Okay. Okay, so we're going on further. Zel v'rochel oisei yifas teyar v'yifas mare. Rochel was yifas teyar and yifas mare, which means that it was the Rochel was yifas teyar, which means the limbs were proportional one to another. Masimim zelazeh v'yifas mare, also the looks, which is already from the veins, from the light of the person. Sheklolos aveda de teyar umare v'ayefi b'hem u'avra b'rochel dafke. That the teyar umare v'ayefi. In other words, that all this, side the proportion of the limbs, inside the look of the yefi and the beauty, u'b'rochel dafke elam adibur. Is dafke in rochel, which is elam adibur, which rochel is the attribute of speech. This is the union of malchus, which malchus is speech. The last attribute, which is royalty, which is speech, because a king rules by the word of his mouth. Alma disgalia, this is the revealed world, because what happens is that Rachel is the one that draws down from the higher world into the lower world. Atzilus is considered concealed, and Bria and lower is considered revealed. So it's actually revealing to lower. That although the older daughter, the older sister was Leah, which is the world of thought, Leah is considered thought, Rachel is considered speech. Alma Diskasia, still, who did Yankev go for? Who was Yankev interested in as a shidduch? Mekol Makim Ksiv, Vayev Yankev es Rachel Dafke. Yankev loved Dafke Rachel. Why Rachel? Because Yankev is the attribute of Tiferes, which links two opposite extremes. It links the attributes together with the highest level of the crown of Keser, and therefore it connects them together. Therefore, he liked the feature of Rachel, which is to bring down, to reveal, because this actually will serve his purpose. Because Rachel is the union of revelation, so he wanted Dafke through Rachel, because this is his Aveda. His Aveda was to draw down godliness into the lower worlds. Through her, the Amshach is drawn down lower, this physical world, in which it is fulfilled the intention of a dwelling place in this world. So B'meila, this is what Yaakov wanted. Thought, this is something that he felt was not his serving his purpose. Chassidus explains that Leah is connected with Machshava, and it's also Merumez in the name. The name Leah is in Lashon Leos, tired. There's one function that constantly works by the person, and that is the thought. It doesn't stop. At night, in the middle of the night, he dreams, but the mind is still working. But because it's not functioning with all the capabilities in the most correct way, therefore a person could start thinking about two opposites at the same time that don't make sense.